folks. Hand's good. So 2013, I think up to 2016, give or take, the 3.5 liter. This is a non-turbo. This would probably go for the F-150 trucks, the SEs, the SELs. It could be the same with the one with the turbo for the location of the oil pressure sensor. Now this is a CarQuest one, SBC 1012. You will get intermediate flashing. It's quite annoying, so you'll know if you have this symptom. I have no oil codes, pressure codes, period, on this vehicle. I've already done the test, like started the car, pulled this, turned it off, pulled that. You could feel the pressure release. Also looked inside, could see where oil was getting everywhere. So what could be causing the oil pressure, the car not to read correct oil pressure? Well, one could be the faulty sensor, so you need to replace it. Two, your oil pump could be going bad, but more than likely that's not the case, because that's all part of the timing and everything. And typically when your oil pump goes bad, you'll end up in limp mode and things like that, because it typically derives with problems with the timing and stuff. Okay, so if you're having oil pressure light come on and off, on and off, on and off, sitting at idle, comes on, rev it up past 1,000 RPM, goes off, and comes back on sporadically, you could have a bad sensor. Now, there could be another symptom that could be causing this, and this is what I have. Okay, because you have oil pressure, you've already double checked that, guaranteed oil pressure, you're good there. Car engine's still running good. You don't hear any ticking or hard knocking from where the car's starving from oil. So what in the world could be causing another one of those symptoms? Let's go under the car. Oh, darn wind. Okay. Evidence. Oil leak on the compressor. Oil filter. Right where my finger is pointing, right there, is your oil pressure switch. Okay? Now, let me move this out of the way. Put my glove over there. Let's change the camera. If you kind of look, let's see if I can zoom in. Kind of look right up in there is your oil pressure. Okay? That's your sensor. Now, you can kind of see it from up there, but there's a nice big radiator hose blocking it. Well, to get access from up top, you're going to have to remove your radiator hose. Well, the service manual, from what I remember, does not require that. You get it from the bottom. Now, how are you going to do that? Remove your oil filter. That will give you better access to get to it. Now, let me go get a light, and I can see if I can pick it up on camera, but I'll show you where the oil is leaking around the sensor. Okay, I'm back. Got a flashlight. There we go. There. I can't really tell because I got the sun kind of in my eyes reflecting. But as you can see right there, it's the oil pressure switch. Let's see if we zoom in. Right there. You can see all the oil around it. The sensor's leaking, so it's not going to read correct pressure because the oil is going to be pushing out of there. That right there can cause bad readings. Now, what do you do? Well, you can remove that, apply some mechanic Teflon tape, which is typically gray, I'm gonna have to go find mine. And just remember, whatever way it threads in, you want to wrap the opposite way so you don't chew up the well, in a sense, mechanic Teflon tape, because you'll just end up with a leak again. But supposedly this sensor is reading correctly, so I'm going to clean it up, do an oil change, and see how it functions. Now, if it's still reading in properly, then I have a new one. I'm gonna replace it. If it's reading correctly, then I'm just gonna leave it alone and return the one I got, because I don't need it. All right, so that is that. Oh, and do not use the CarQuest oil filters. They are actually smaller than the OEM oil filters. And I'll show you. So this is an oil wrench socket. It is a 74 millimeter.
Hello, guys.
And this oil wrench, see, locks on. That's what it should do, if it's the correct one, because that's the oil wrench. And this is the Motorcraft OEM oil filter, and this is the OEM oil. Now, I did put full synthetic Castrol GTX in this car. That's half my oil pressure problems. And that's probably why this is leaking, because I didn't have a problem until I went to the GTX. But look. That should work if this oil filter was the correct size. It's not. So, in a sense, this would be considered aftermarket. The oil I'm using in here, Castrol GTX, would also be considered aftermarket. The cap literally says Motorcraft recommended 5W20. So, what I would say is use the Motorcraft oil in these cars. I've looked in the owner's manual, I've done some research. Valvoline might be the closest that you could get away with, but my previous vehicle I had if you go all the way back to the beginning of my YouTube channel over 10 years ago, I had a 99 Ford Taurus. And I had took it to Firestone, and they had put castor oil in it, full synthetic. Well, back then, cars only took conventional, and that car was leaking from about every oil surface it could. So I had to take the car back and like, hey, car's leaking oil. I said conventional. Turns out they put full synthetic in it, which the owner's manual said is a no-no. This one is a synthetic blend. So it's conventional with synthetic, which makes it, you know, a little bit different. I don't know the science, could be wrong, but conventional, in my case, in my opinion, is a thicker oil. Blend is a mixture of thick and thin, because full synthetic is like a thinner oil, meaning, so that's why it would leak out of other areas. This car requires synthetic blend. So if you do change the oil in your Taurus, and I know some of you might be like, I've never had an issue, I've always used this, I've always used that, I've always used this. I'm just giving you from experience from owning Fords. I love Fords, I always have. I even had an 83 Ford Escort, beautiful car. Putting the incorrect oil in that car locked the engine up. You know, so it may be 530, but it might not be the correct formula and specifications for the engine you have. So always go with what's recommended by the owner's manual. Now, if you really are questioning things, you could always call your local Ford dealership or one out of state if yours is crappy. I will tell you, the Rocky Top dealership here in Sevierville, Tennessee, fantastic. So if you want some advice and some good pointers, just give them a ring if your local one's shitty. They'll definitely point you in the right direction, even if you're not from here. Just say, hey, heard about you on YouTube, mention my channel. You know, I've dealt with them. Beautiful, beautiful people. Okay, so just to make this long and short, because I don't want to, some of you think I rant, but I'm giving you pertinent information here. These engines typically take 520 synthetic blend. Recommended motorcraft for longevity of life. Get a long time, because the wrong oil, the oil pump might not be able to sling it up to your valve, to your cylinder head, and to your valves area. And it might not be able to get it up there into the piston areas to lubricate the piston walls, and so much more. And it might not be able to get into your rod bearings. And if your rod bearings run dry, they start metal on metal. Because remember, the bearings are metal, the rods are metal, the cylinder walls are metal, your pistons are metal, your piston rings are metal. Bad oil, not right kind of oil, it's basically metal on metal. And what does happen when metal gets hot and it doesn't get lubricated? It seizes and it can't move anymore. It literally locks right up. So, same thing happens if you don't change your oil like you're supposed to. You're eventually going to gum up all the oil passages in the car, and voila, your engine locks up because the oil can't get anywhere because you don't change it. So, depending on your driving style, the amount of miles you drive, where you go, what type of terrain you're in, you have different recommendations for oil. Me, I live in the mountains. I drive this car every single day, 7 days a week, doing deliveries, gravel roads, rough roads, climbing mountains, curves. So, my recommended oil change, which I've checked this and it's proven true, once a month. Because I can put on 3,000 miles in a month. So, yes, I would require once a month oil changes. And the car is telling me the truth, because even the car is like, hey, I know you just changed your oil at the beginning of March, but you're at 30% at the end of March. That's like oil changing areas. But if you don't drive a lot, your work's close to home, you go to Sunday, you go to church, maybe you don't, or you just go shopping here and there, oil does break down. So the recommendation typically for these cars, 5,000 miles, depending on issues or what have you. I can't think of the proper word. But regardless, oil breaks down, even new oil, if it's set too long. It loses the, what it is I can't talk today. Think of the word, it starts with a V, viscosity. I think I said it right. It loses that. So it has a hard time lubricating everything else. Okay, so real quick, where's it at? Oh, it's underneath the car. So if you need to change your socket, self-explanatory. You need one of these, deep well socket. I just happen to have it on a 1/2-inch ratchet. Size is 3/16. Now, that is the aftermarket. If it's bigger or smaller than the 3/16, I'll put that down in the description. If not, then you will know that's what it is. So for this job, you're going to need an oil pan. You're going to need, if you've already changed your oil before, you already know how to do that. I don't need to explain it. But once you get your oil filtered down, you'll need this. But you got to get the clamp off first. So if you have some brake clean, great, because if you're leaking oil, you want to spray that, clean it all off. Check the sensor, make sure no oil's got in the sensor. Oh, another thing about these sensors, sometimes they can blow out and oil can start leaking into the connector area, which will cause false readings. So you could have one of the two cases. You might not be leaking at the block itself. You might be leaking around where the sensor plugs in. So if you're leaking there, then the sensor's bad. You're going to have to replace it. But if you're leaking around the block, then you just need to put some sealant or something on there that, you know, you can use. I typically use a gray mechanic Teflon tape. I've never had any issues with it. I've used it on Neons, PT Cruisers, Chevy Cobalts, Cruise it. I mean, I've used it on a lot of different vehicles. Never had an issue. Never had to go back again. But that sticky stuff, which I'll kind of show you. The stuff that's on there already, that's not guaranteed to work. Because who knows how long this sat on the shelf. So just a little Teflon tape on there. Just a little bit. You don't need a lot. Little bit better protection. All right, I've already talked for a good 8 minutes. Hopefully this has helped you guys. If you have any issues, put a link down put a comment, question down below. I will respond. The older the video gets, the less I remember, but I'll do my best to respond to your comments. If you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell if you feel like it. Also, if you want to support the channel, hit the membership button. I think I got the cheapest one at 99 cents, or it's $1.99. It's something that's real low. If you want to do that, go ahead. Once I have enough members, I might start doing some member content only. I'm not there yet. I'm just starting this. I've actually had it up for a while, but I've never pushed it before. But if you want to, check it out. You don't have to join it, but if you would, give this video a thumb up, share it with somebody that needs it, and I shall see you all in the next one. And remember, if it's broke, fix it. Want to say bye?
Bye, people.
All right, y'all. Just to show you, Lord have mercy, I swear, I'm getting sick of technology. But oil. So the oil sensor is bad. It was blowing oil straight through. But you can see it's been leaking for a little bit. But yep, there she is. I ended up using a 3/8 ratchet, an extension with a 3/16 3/8 socket, because the 1/2 too big, couldn't even get to it, but this is what I used. Alrighty, see you on the next one. And the way it comes out, which I'll show you, you're gonna be up in here, right in there. All right, now if you do what I did here, so you don't get oil dripped on, do not forget to take this out. Whatever you do, if you plug this up, do not forget to take it out. All right, thank you all for watching.